Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Insights and Innovations with the IMAA. And today we have our wonderful partners at Go Transit. This today is an exciting moment because they're launching with us their TransitIQ product. This is the first time that Transit will have real-time insights available for them. Which they're going to kick off, and the technology they've invested into bringing this to life. I remember hearing about this a couple of years ago, or about a year and a bit ago, and being on this journey as it's all kind of coming back to me now. It's super exciting in the way that they've done it, and the time and the effort and the technology, as well as the investment into the product, is super exciting for the industry. We're going to hear from Kiralee, Bernie, and Eric, and I'll hand over to Kiralee to kick things off. Kiralee, over to you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Sam, for the intro, and thanks everyone for having us. As Sam mentioned, this is a really exciting time for us, and it's aligned perfectly to showcase to the IMAA members today, as we have only just as recently onboarded our team in the last 2 weeks. So still lots of training and ongoing developments of the platform to be working on, but we're super excited as to what 2025 brings for us. So on that note, many of you will be aware that as members of the OMA, we've been working really closely with the Move 2 team. We're excited about the data and audience measurement that will be available as part of Move 2 into next year. Timing on that all to be confirmed. I know that it is eagerly anticipated to be hearing about the launch date, but we are waiting to hear that at this stage. But certainly looking like it will be into early next year. Just to touch on the partnership that we've had with Lumos and Eric Fan as the founder, as Sam mentioned there, we have had a long-term partnership with Lumos, where we have been working with the Lumos team in being able to develop a platform that can provide both audience insights and real-time audience measurement for transit out of home. So this is certainly a first of its kind, and we're very excited to be bringing that to market. As a bit of a background, some of you may be aware that we have had in the market now for almost 12 months on our light rail assets, the Lumos data and the audience insights associated with that. What we've been really excited to see now across the last 12 months is we've been able to really see some exciting insights around seasonality and key event times. So, for example, with the Gold Coast Light Rail, we've now been able to capture 2 of the V8 supercar periods, so both being last year and the one just gone in the last couple of weeks, see significant spikes in audience and be able to then provide retargeting and attribution around high-value audiences that are attending those events. So that is, as I say, that's in market and working exceptionally well for many of our clients and our agency partners. So what we've been able to do now, and I will just start sharing my screen for everyone. Got that there? Yep. What we've been able to do is bring this technology to bus, which has certainly been the question that I've been asked every time that we present the light rail data. And then further to that, the next evolution of this TransitIQ platform will be bringing also taxis into it as well. So what we'll run through today is how the platform, how it's been built, and then I will actually throw over to Eric Fan, who's the founder of Lumos, and Eric will talk just more around the capabilities of the platform, and then we'll also run through a live demo for us. And for you as agency partners, you get the opportunity at first hand to and first to market to see how the platform actually will be able to provide you just such a deeper level of audience insights, so that obviously your planning can be more data-led, and that specifically will be around transit out of home. I'll just move through. My screen wants to doesn't want to play now. It's always the way when you test, but then it doesn't want to work when it comes time.
It happens. It happens.
It does. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
I will just... There we go. So as I mentioned, it is a first to market, and this has specifically been built for transit out of home. What we're doing is something that most tools in out of home hasn't been able to do. In the past, the focus has obviously been on static and digital spaces. TransitIQ has been purpose-built for transit advertising, putting buses, taxis and light rail now on the map. Why is it different? The significant difference about TransitIQ is that it's actually being able to target moving audiences. So by combining the mobile data with out-of-home insights and using data from 18 million devices, we can now bring transit advertising into the digital age. So it goes where other tools can't. So it'll specifically be able to unlock location-specific insights to ensure your message is reaching your audience in the right place. So TransitIQ enriches over 7,000 different attributes, including ABS data, survey data, purchase behaviour, and as I mentioned, tracking 18 million mobile devices across buses, taxi and light rail, specifically in real time. What we've been able to do is activate hyper-targeted campaigns now through that data so that you as agencies and your clients can deploy ad formats that are tailored to your audience, aligned with your campaign objectives and activated at key phases to maximise the impact in the transit environment. And finally, this will, using the GPS and geofencing data, provides insights to help further refine your strategies and linking ads to store visits and online traffic. So I'm going to throw over to Eric now, if you're available there, Eric, I'll step through the slides, but Eric will speak to these once you're ready. Oh, hopefully. Sorry, I'll just check. Lost him. Sorry, Nikki. We just got Eric waiting in the lobby, if you could possibly admit him.
Is he in?
No, not looking like it. I will just see what's going on. Sorry, guys.
Was he in earlier?
He was. Hopefully, no, that's not him. Not there, Sam?
Sorry, no, I can't see him. I'll just call Nikki. She's probably just trying to find him. Can you present any of his stuff till we get him in?
Yep, not a problem. I will keep things moving. Sorry, I just messaged him there. Here we go. I can see him there waiting. Hi, Eric.
Yep.
All good. There we go.
Have we got Eric?
We have got you there, Eric.
Can you hear us, Eric?
You might be on mute, Eric. We can't hear you.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Hey, Brian, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that, everyone, but please meet Eric Fan, who's the founder and CEO of Lumos Technology. Eric, I've provided the intro and I'm about to kick over to you just to run through a little bit more detail around how the platform works.
Awesome. Thanks, Shirley, and nice to meet everyone as well. I'm currently in the airport, so occasionally you'll hear some announcement rushing people to go to the gate. So I'll keep this presentation as sustainable as possible so you don't steal the show. So first of all, to kick off, by way of introduction, I'm the founder and CEO of Lumos. We're in business for 4 years. Over the past 4 years, we've been working with our incredible brands, agencies, and media partners to help them to consolidate and revolutionize the new way of doing media planning. So we have an incredible team being built in Sydney with over 11 data scientists and data engineers, and just working through some innovative way to enhance media planning with incredible amount of data. So it's kind of a few key points to highlight, and the real benefit for media planning going forward is that we believe that aggregating valuable audience insights will be really valuable for transit media going forward, especially trying to understand your consumer daily behaviors and also understanding what they're interested in looking at and blending those insights into a very unique transit format to really understand the correlation between the two is what we believe is really going to drive the future state of media planning, especially for the transit media state. So one of our proposition is really to help the planet to say goodbye to guess what? Using data-centric approach to really pinpoint exactly where is the right market, the right moment to really engage with your high-value customers. What's the most valuable way and most effective way to reach them at the moment that matter? And one way we're also going to help the planet to look at those value and insights by visualizing those incredible amount of insight that can be extracted from a really easy to use platform, as you can see from the right-hand side of the presentation. So what we're trying to achieve in the long run is to really help the media planners to tap into the incredible amount of audience data that we've accumulated over time, and also to use those insights to then play with different scenarios to enhance your outcome of the media campaign. So as of today, we have built an incredible amount of audience insights, around 80 million unified IDs, and then we have further enriched that with 7,000 plus advanced segments. I'll dive into the specific examples in a second, but we do work with some of the most incredible data partners in the region, including MasterCard, Nielsen, and also we do work with a lot of third-party data providers in the region. So altogether, as of today, we have 35 accredited data partners we work with across ANZ. So Kerry, if you don't mind to move to the next slide, I do want to provide a quick overview to just unlock some of the really valuable insights that we currently maintain and able to extract from a planning perspective. So Lumos is currently building an ever-growing audience insight ecosystem, not only just using a static data set to help you understand the past, but we're continuing to ingest more and more data to help you inform the future. The way we facilitate this ecosystem is by working with data partners that service different range of perspective about your consumers, including what they're currently looking at online, how they're spending their money, using credit card data that we have access to, understanding brand affiliation using some of the first-party data we accumulated from brands and partners we work with directly. And also at the same time, we do work with a lot of different mobility data providers to really understand the real-time footfall patterns of some of these consumers we're trying to reach. A lot of those incredible data then comes into our unification engine, which is the pillar that you can see in the middle of the presentation. This is where a lot of the magic happens. We bring all those data into our audience engine and we start unifying them to one single audience profile. This profile not only going to exist in the out-of-home world, we know exactly where this person lives, how this person travel, and also what is the media consumption that this person going to go through. How often do they spend time in a local park, and how often do they spend time in the local shopping center? And what is the pathway to purchase? So by blending all those insights into the transit media world, then immediately you have the ability to do planning to really understand what is the right market, what is the right bus route, what is the right transit format that I should utilize to engage them with the right message. And with those planning in mind, we're now able to facilitate not only just planning, but actually understand the post-campaign impact. So with the audience data we accumulated, not only we're able to look at the past behavior patterns, but we can also continue to track the ongoing engagements with the media that we are currently using. So let's say we ran a campaign, we can also articulate and understand how many exact audiences have been exposed to that transit media format. And at the same time, we can continue to study the post-campaign engagement behaviors. For example, how many of them have now come to your business and how many have them come to your website. those audience insights now become a commodity which now is accessible through our ecosystem. You can continue to learn more about your audiences and use those past experiences to inform the future state planning process. I want to bring a couple of examples to life. So if we go to the next slide, Curly, and want to quickly just unlock a couple of really seamless examples how you can utilize our ecosystem to do different types of planning and use cases. Some of the examples of the 7,000 audience segment data that will have enabled through the platform include your behavior data around consumer spend, brands purchased, brand loyalty, income level, socioeconomic statuses, and also we can deep dive into the likes of multicultural segments, which is now becoming really, really popular. We can also tap into your online profiles, really understanding the type of utilities, the content, and the other services that an end user is currently using. And we stitch all those data together. So now you can actually do an aggregated audience profile by providing different types of segments to then inform the type of audience you want to reach. And what our platform will do is now we stitch all those insights together and linking up with the transit media network provided by Go Transit. Now, immediately, you can now see which market is going to deliver those effective outcomes for you. And you can play around with the different scenarios as well. As the campaign goes through different seasons, we do factor in the seasonality uplift as well. So if you want to run your campaign across January all the way to June, we now be able to also see how the daily behavior patterns of your consumers change over time. And you can utilize the different type of formats to then engage those audiences effectively. So those are the type of examples now we can now enable through the platform. If you just go to the next slide, Curly. I want to do a quick recap in terms of the methodology that we're currently using to make all this whole process become available through the platform. So we do work closely with the OMA. We are a member of the OMA, and also we've been contributing our data to the development of MOVE 2.2. So always been embracing the latest industry standards in terms of understanding what's the right methods and approach, and understanding the true value of out-of-home assets, including transit. So we have the incredible opportunity to work with some of the smartest brands in the space to really understand how the format works across different markets, the real contextual environments, how the format exists, how they run, and also all the different specs that come with the different out-of-home assets that are currently made available through Go Transit Network. So we took a lot of those different variables into account to try to understand the true engagement threshold between the transit format and the audience. So we take into account with the likes of the speed of the transit format, also understanding the orientation. And then we also look at the same sort of spec from an audience perspective. Are they facing the right side of the street? Are they spending a high amount of dwell time in front of the asset that is in front of a bus station? So all those amount of data is something that we process through our platform. And as the outcome of this whole process, we're now able to not only just help you to understand how your future campaign is going to perform, but we can also look back to actual performance and use those insights to then continue to enhance your message and continue to deliver effective outcome from a planning perspective. So now with all that in mind, I know everyone's really excited to see the platform. So I also just want to save a bit of time towards the end of the presentation to take some questions from the call. I just also realized that my camera is not showing my face, so apologies if that's the case. What I'm going to do now. Oh, awesome. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. And before I change over to the platform demo, I want to take a pause to see if there's any burning questions that anyone wants to ask away. All right, looks like we've got most of the questions already answered. Cool. Now I'm going to bring up my screen to show you the most updated TransitIQ platform. I believe Curly and Benny has already provided a bit of overview of what the platform offers. So I'm going to jump straight into some real life examples to show you how it works in real life. So I want to go through a couple of examples of how does end-to-end planning work in action, and also we can look at the different type of outputs that the platform generates within seconds. So I'm going to go through the first example, which I'm going to run a media plan to really understand which market is the best fit if I want to reach a specific category of audiences. For the example, I'm going to select New South Wales of Australia. And at the same time, you can see from the drop down, I can select as many states as possible. So if I'm running a national brief, I now have the ability to run effective planning to look at which markets across the whole state or whole country is going to deliver the best outcome. Also, I have the ability to navigate through the map by looking at the different level of breakdown of audience engagement. I can now help me to choose the best city to reach the right target audiences. I can help utilize the platform to look at the best SA4s, or I can even go granular and try to understand which postcode is going to give me the most effective reach for my target audiences. And going forward, we're also going to link up all the different postcodes into a market level mapping. So then it also helps you to understand what is that current market you can access from Go Transit to the platform. So for now, I'm going to book a plan, which is coming towards middle of December, which is a few weeks ahead of Christmas. I know everyone's excited for the upcoming Christmas break, and we want to run a 4 weeks campaign. I'm going to go through the next step. Next step, this is where we're starting to unlock a lot of those audience insights. This is the part where now you have the ability to inform what your target audiences should look like through that 7,000 additional segments that you can choose from. At the starting point, which is really popular for most of the briefs that we can see in market, is that the brands usually have a really specific persona they want to target, usually divided by gender, life stage, and affluence class. If I want to target specific segments between age of 18 to 44, I also want to look at best market that can help me to reach high affluence consumers. But not only just that, I now have the ability to navigate through 7,000 plus segments through all these types of categories that we have made available through the front end. So I can go through some scenarios. For example, I'm a consumer brand. I really want to sell my product to people that's interested in fast food. And also I've done my research. I know my consumer that's interested in my brand that's also constantly going out to drink wine. I can also tap into even further granular details, such as the type of groceries my consumers are currently buying. So I can go through a list of different types of segments that's already been made available through the platform and navigate through the type of scenario that's going to be relevant for my brand. For this really niche specific example I'm going to run today, I'm going to add fresh eggs to it as well. As you can see that we have currently contributed 7 segments towards the target demographic profile that we've set up. What this means is we are going to inform our attribution model in the backend to really starting to help us to find where those people live and how those people travel. And then we're going to overlay the transit media format on top of that, so we can recommend the best market is going to help you to reach those target audiences. So before I go to the next step, also want to just navigate through a couple of new segments that I've now also made available through the platform, including something that's really popular, especially with the government agencies and some of the travel destination brands. We can also tap into multicultures to look at languages spoken at home. We can also looking at ancestry of the type of profiles. So there's a lot of different elements and sectors that we can also tap into to help you to then really tap into granular audience level IDs and then use those insights to help you to plan and also achieve the best outcome. Now I've created my audience segment. I'm going to go through the next step. The immediate next step is really to help the planner and the transit team to have the ability to then curate the best market that's going to give you the best outcome for that high value customer. So what you can see now straight away immediately on the mapping tool, we are currently dividing up the entire state into multiple postcodes. What the postcode polygon is going to inform us is to really visualize, if I want to reach a specific target audiences, which areas should I start focusing on before I make my selection. At the same time, as you can see on the left-hand side, we're doing a lifetime compute, really looking at the variables that we have inputted into the system, which informs the type of audiences that I want to reach. So to provide a quick recap, from the selection drop-down, I can see that I've selected audience profile between age of 18 to 44, and then there's a few other specific segments I've embedded. So this created my aggregated audience profile. So from a heat map perspective, as you can see, if I zoom out from the map, there's certain parts of the postcode within the states starting to lead up. The color code represents the different density of your target audiences when they are measured against the wider population. There's a few different aspects that we have also enabled through the heat maps. The first one being target reach. Target reach is also really a valuable tool which helps you to look at the markets, the postcodes. That's going to give you the mass audience reach when they fall under that specific segment. And this is a dynamic function, which then allows you to play around and choose the different segments that you want to then do your research. For example, if I want to just tap into the best market where people are currently buying fresh eggs against the wider population, where can I find those markets? When I click on that, instantly you can see that the heat map has shifted, and then also the market ranking on the left has also changed. So to provide a bit of an overview in terms of what presented on the left-hand side, the list on the left represents every single market, every single postcode where the transit media can now be purchased. And also at the same time, you can see a ranking right next to each of them, providing your audience index score. So anything that's above 100 means you are 77% over indexing against that fresh eggs category against the wider market. And then pretty much you can use the curation ranking process that's provided by our platform to make more informed decisions on which market you want to double down on. We also have the ability to now change around the different segments. As you can see, as I play around with the tool, the heat map functions also changes. Another really cool aspect about the mapping tool is that at any given time, if I want to just really know about the traffic conditions of the market, so that I know what is the likely dwell time that I'm going to generate from the transit media, I can also click on the live traffic view. So this allows me to now straight away looking at what's the current live traffic conditions in the roads where my media format is going to go on the road and start engaging with audiences. This is another really cool way for you to really get a tangible understanding of how my media asset is driving such high impressions and reach over time. And this is plugged into the latest Google Map API, which allows you to really access what's happening in the real world. Another really cool aspect about the platform is really helping the planning team to have a contextual understanding of the market, of the environment where they're buying into. So not only just having the ability to provide your standard 2D mapping view to really understand the condition of the market and then the surrounding of the transit format, but also at the same time, we can visualize the entire market to try to understand, is this routes which I have selected for my campaign, is that going through a busy business district, or is that going through high traffic residential areas? Now, as a planner, I have the ability to actually navigate through the map and then try to have a better understanding of what's really happening in the real world. And this is something that we always find really valuable, especially for the planning team, to now have the ability to play around with different selection process and then curate the best media plan outcome as possible. So as I'm starting to zoom out, as you can see now, we can see the whole city of Sydney is starting to emerge with different color codes, and each of them presents the different type of audience segments we can tap into. We can filter that based on the hot area, which I can then find my fast food eaters. I can also look at areas where there's highest potential to reach my target audiences. So this could be the area where currently are under indexed against the fast food consumers, but which also means there is an underrepresented market, which now I should double down on spending in order to elevate my brand awareness in some of these areas. So there's different ways that you can utilize the data insights that we visualize through the mapping tool to help you to make different decisions. And you can also A/B test different scenarios with the brand creatives as well. So for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and schedule a plan and quickly illustrate what that outcome looks like. So if I just going to go with the ranking that's being provided by the platform and curate my best markets that I prefer to engage and reach my target audiences. So I'm going to select the first 11 postcode that's recommended by the system. And if I just quickly zoom out, as you can see, I will just quickly show the markets that we have selected. There's a few markets that's currently down in south, close to Wollongong, and this is the postcodes that our system have recommended in order to get your effective reach immediately. So those are the markets I've selected, and I'm going to go through the next step by selecting schedule plan. This is where I have the flexibility to now make another decisions on how long do I actually want to run my campaign for. By default, you have the ability to select all the periods that you have previously selected. So as we have picked the 9th of December as the start date for 4 weeks campaign. But if I change my mind to say, hey, I only just want to run 2 weeks campaign in this specific market, I can also change my mind. What that does is pretty much we will take out the 2 weeks of campaign duration and then provide a more realistic output for what that 2 weeks campaign look like for that market. I also have the ability to choose and pick how many assets I want to actually deploy in that market. So from time to time, I can also change my panel from 1 to 5 or 10. The input is going to impact what the forecast is going to be like, especially if you're trying to understand what is your target audience impressions and reach. So the different variables that you put into the system will help you to determine those outcomes. So now what I'm going to do is to just finalize my planning process by clicking on the estimate. What this does is that it computes, pretty much compiles all the inputs that's been provided by the planner, understanding the type of audiences, the segments, the market, the schedule, and then now we're going through the specific postcode that the planner has selected. What this does is pretty much we're going to look back last 12 months worth of data, understanding the comparables of the same season over the last 12 months, but also at the same time, because we're also feeding our engine with live mobility data that we're collating on a real-time basis. So we can also inform the system what the last 24 hours movement look like in that specific market that we're selected. So as the output of this whole process, as you can see, I've just selected a 4 weeks campaign across a few markets, and I've deployed 1 panel for each market. Not only I can forecast my estimated total impressions, unique reach, but also I can quantify the number of target audiences reach I can generate from the total mass reach as part of the campaign. This gives me a really strong confidence to say, hey, this is the market I've selected. Not only I'm going to achieve mass reach over the 4 weeks period, but also at the same time, a lot of my reach is really on point and hitting the right people that matters. So this is essentially what you can now put in front of your brand's partners to then really illustrates the curation process, really taking data-centric approach into the planning cycle. And then also you can curate the different markets, really understand what is the estimated impressions and reach that each market would generate over time. You could convert this into a mapping view. So not only you can see the standard metrics, but also at the same time, you can go back to the mapping to again to look at the markets that you have selected. So if I'm happy with this plan and this schedule, just to reconfirm, I'm going to submit plan. And this is the final step of the media planning process. Obviously, as I have gone through each step, I've kind of slowed down the whole process. But as you can imagine, if I'm really familiar with the planning process using the platform, I can complete the plan within minutes. So this is pretty much the new experience that we are delivering to the agency partners and the brand partners to have the ability to curate and select different type of audience segments to deliver the best outcome. So for the purpose of the demo, I'm just going to write a demo campaign. Passport. I'm just going to select a brand which somewhat relevant to this specific segment, and I'm going to click save. What this does is that it immediately generates a plan, and then so I can go back to it and inspect the data at any given time. And I can also see the breakdown of the audience audience target segment scores underneath, so that I can see that not only are we able to drive higher volume reach, but at the same time, I'm getting the best index score for the market I've selected. This is something that also informs what the campaign measurements will look like. So if you're happy with this plan, you can click the book functions, and then that will immediately convert this plan into a booked schedule. So what we'll look at going forward in the future is to look at the actual performance of those formats that's going to those markets, and also tap into those audience IDs that were collected during the process. One thing that we might have highlighted in the early presentation is that not only we're able to understand the engagement metrics, but also at the same time, we are storing every audience's data into our universe after we know they have been engaged. This gives us the opportunity to actually retarget them. So having the ability to understand the actual mobility advertising ID, and then with that can pretty much be pushed into any programmatic platforms that you want to utilize in order to extend your campaign engagement beyond just the out-of-home sector. So this is pretty much now we're having the ability to bridge the strength between out-of-home and digital, and combining them into what we call a specific target audience reach through a combination approach. So that's pretty much what the output will look like from a planning perspective. And also love to go through some of the questions that the team might have, and then we can jump into a different scenarios as well.
a question there, Eric, in the chat.
Gonna go through the chat real quick.
From Molly?
Yes, we
You
can
got that?
confirm
Yep.
the brackets. Yep, just saw that. Yep. So we do break down the affluence brackets based on ABS census data. So I can provide an overview in terms of what each brackets fall under. So there's pretty much looking at the household income level between the likes of $25,000 per annum, all the way stretched to $150,000 per annum at the household level. So yeah, that's how we then be able to stitch together what the audience socioeconomic class looks like.
Thank you for that. I was also just going to write, what is the capability in terms of post-reporting, and what would that report structure look like out of the Lumos platform?
And I'm happy to even jump in there, Eric.
Yeah,
so that
course,
is, yeah. So that is what we are able to currently deliver for light rail. And then next phase is for us where this is phase 1. But yes, the post-campaign reporting will essentially then be able to deliver what the exposed audience was and be able to drill down based on the demo and the attributes as well.
Fantastic. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Molly.
Cool. Any other questions or any interesting briefs that you're currently working on you want to also run through?
Look, if there's no other questions, I might just jump in and just say, look, if there are questions, feel free to send it through to Kiralee, myself, or Go Transit representative. We're pretty excited to get this live and up and running. But I was just going to give a quick overview for, I guess, how it works for IMAA agencies. Did you have anything else you wanted to share first, Eric, or no? All right.
No, that's
perfect.
All. Yep.
So just for the rollout to the agencies, because there's a lot of data which you would have seen there, and how that's going to look and what we're actually going to use it for. So definitely for post-campaign reporting, like Molly just mentioned, basically that snapshot you'll see there, we've actually got a designated role which we've brought across Go Transit as well. So we've got someone in-house who'll be utilizing, I guess, the data from the platform and how that's going to work with briefs which you give us access to or let us know about. And then also working across Move 2.0 when that launches as well. So we'll use a combination between that. So we've got that role already embedded. And then as far as a rollout for our assets, like Kiralee mentioned earlier, so for the light rail, this is already up and running. Absolutely everything which Eric has been through is currently available. So we'd be able to do that. What else we can do off the back of it is retargeting as well. So we've got retarget opportunities for digital retargeting packages, as well as attribution as well. And then for buses, this is all ready to go as well, except we are just awaiting some postcode data to come in, which we anticipate going to come through and be finalized by mid-month. So if you've got briefs which you can share, or if you'd like more information on it, feel free to flick it through and we can have something solid back to you now. And then taxis is what we're working on next. And you've already got a lot of the data for that, Eric, and it's just a matter to try and turn that and push it through onto the platform. So yeah, that's next on the cards for us also to be able to put that data through for London taxis, which we can provide activations on at the moment. We do have live devices in those, so that information is readily available, and we can also do retargeting and attribution off the back of that as well. And yeah, any new briefs or even proactive opportunities, we're able to utilize this data. But to speak to anyone, yeah, myself, Kiralee, or whoever you normally speak to at Go Transit, we're across it and we'll be able to give you a hand.
Awesome. Is that it, guys?
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much. That was super interesting. Eric, thank you so much for sharing all of the detail in there. Bernie, thank you so much. Kiralee, thank you so much. Go Transit, thank you so much for your ongoing support as well. You guys are fantastic. This is super interesting. How are you rolling this out? Are you slowly pushing this out to everyone? Is there a priority list? What's the process?
Yeah, if you want to speak through it, Kirli, you can. You're going to say
Well,
something.
as I say, as it's a first to market, and the IMAA members are actually the first to have seen it. So yes, go the indies. So yes, the rollout has officially commenced, and we will keep pushing ahead from here. So
well done. Congratulations, super exciting, and well done to seeing this come to life. Thank you, members, for tuning in. Just a reminder, we're around the country with Flot. We've got Gladiator 2 premieres in 2 states over the next 2 weeks. There's an IAS boat trip on Thursday, and we've got our big end of year celebration and awards on the 20th of November. Put it in your diary. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Have a great day. Enjoy the public holiday tomorrow. Oh, it's not a public holiday tomorrow, is it? No, it's in Melbourne. It is. Tomorrow it is the Melbourne Cup, so enjoy whatever you're doing on that day. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.
thanks, Sam. Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks,
Bye.
Eric.